He definitely is. He has had some really pop-off reset plays. In addition to one of the first teams to utilize Ziggs, they actually utilize it first in Huhi's hands as a support Ziggs in the bottom lane with FBI, as the AD threat down there. So I'm very curious to see. There's so many things left up. I really am still hovering around this Kalista possibility that has been left up yet again, as it can provide a very different look where Team Liquid can actually try and snowball off the bottom side of the map and not go the other way around. But 100 Thieves slam it down here, Flowers.
Yep.
One of our favorite combos from basically the middle of summer when Diana first came to Rise. I just love pairing this champion with Leona. Yes, you've got lore tie-ins there.
Yeah, we got the lore, baby. We got the gameplay. Everything's all tied up.
But they also just love roaming together. It's so much CC to back up a carry jungler and sets 100 Thieves up for those melee solo laners.
Okay, so talking about melee solo laners, I want to go to the other side real fast because this could be Lee Sin and Sejuani are both flexes back and forth because Sejuani top is becoming a thing these days. She has high enough base
on the phone,
damage.
bro.
Yeah. I've seen some of the Alorem tech. I really want to see this be Sejuani top because Lee Sin's nerfs that he received made him a much less effective laner. So I'm curious if that's the path they'll go with. Santorin, obviously a successful Sejuani player, so could very easily be in the jungle as well.
Yes,
but Team Liquid pick up the Ziggs and 100 Thieves pick up the Irelia. Both of these champions were banned in the previous game.
Yeah, and I've been waiting. I was really happy to see the ban in the previous game, but I was waiting for increased priority on Irelia in the LCS. It really dropped off after the last nerf on W, where you got a little bit of damage reduction, nerf taken off, and a little bit of the damage itself on the W, but it still remained insanely high priority in regions like the LCK, where they're picking for solo laners over and over, and it works so well with AP jungles. Diana plus Irelia is a powerhouse combination. Irelia now scales incredibly well, gets extremely tanky. I think she's best positioned actually as a mid laner nowadays.
Okay.
You can definitely play her into the top lane, but I really love mid lane Irelia, especially when you have Diana like this. Affords you a super scary mid jungle duo roaming possibility. Team Liquid, though, as you said, they're still remaining flexible, and that's why you see these top lane bans from 100 Thieves still. Lee Sin can go mid, Sejuani could be jungle. It could be that. It doesn't have to be either of those two champions on the top side.
Well, we have the Camille and the Shen banned away. Kai'Sa, the ban from the side of Team Liquid. And you brought up earlier, CoreJJ and Tactical can play the bottom lane together. CoreJJ doesn't have to roam. But a pick like Ziggs that just clears the way instantly, this is immediately just a big red light saying, nope, stop all laning phase hopes. This guy can now clear everything out on his own, and it's very easy for CoreJJ to roam around. Tristana, the other ban, here for the side of Team Liquid. 100 Thieves, we still need to see a marksman, and we still need to see a solo laner here to round out this composition. You already mentioned the Kalista earlier as something that we might be seeing here. But no, it's the Vayne locked in.
And Vayne here is because of the early Sejuani pick. Vayne is so good at dealing with this champion. Sejuani has gotten a lot of buffs to make her more competitive, and most of them have been around the W. Extra W damage, the second swing of it being more impactful. And so it really relies on a fairly skinny skill shot. And yet, Vayne has a very easy time of tumbling out of the way of either the W or the ultimate as well, and having the true damage to shred through Sejuani. So I really actually like the FBI Vayne pickup. It does mean, though, since you're picking it without knowing fully the solo laners, you might get into some territory where your teamfights could get difficult, because Vayne's biggest difficulty in teamfights is when she faces champions with very big zone control, large area of effect abilities. And guess what? Gangplank locked right in there. Alphari signature champion, so my money is fully on the Gangplank going to Alphari's hands.
Yeah.
We love to see this man pilot the pirate.
So what it looks like here is we're going to have the Gangplank top lane with a Lee Sin mid, and then Sett support for CoreJJ. The answer and the final pick on the side of 100 Thieves is going to be an Ornn for top. You pointed out how Irelia feels strongest as a mid laner, and that's what Abbeddage will be piloting this game.
I'm super excited to see this because of Jensen's previous performance on Lee Sin. This man absolutely was a demon, popped off, icing his veins on the Lee Sin after some of the unfortunate circumstances surrounding Team Liquid's earlier part of the season, where there are so many variables going on. They were switching top laners, they were switching junglers, and all throughout it, there was also this circling opinion that they had not really been able to adapt to some of the new solo lane picks. And one of them was the mid Lee Sin for Jensen, but my God, in playoffs, this man absolutely popped off with it. So super excited to see here.
They're in this second game, but Team Liquid stays looking I'm not Freak. I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't mean it, I swear.
I mean, you just spent like 40 seconds talking about punching, so there you go.
God bless it. All right, a little bit absent-minded there, but hey, remember that if you all want to check out the Ornn versus Gangplank matchup there in the top lane, see how that one's done, check out ProView. That is our free matchup here for this game. And while we're waiting on things to start and for the minions to hit the lane, the Tigress is standing by for a sideline interview. Let's see how that went.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. Tough start to the series, Reaper. What was your main takeaways from game number one?
Game number one, the players are kind of nervous, I guess, so that they are getting lots of good engages from the TL. So yeah, this game around, we just decided to shaking up our team comms and play style so that, yeah, shaking up a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of a shakeup on both sides, even on TL sides. You got Alphari on the GP, you have the Lee Sin mid. What do you think the key is to getting the W in game number two?
Probably both of teams' big win condition is mid 2v2, mid jungle 2v2. It's gonna be really spicy.
All right, that's where we're keeping our eyes then. Let's send things on over to the casters.
Really spicy. That is what we love to hear from the coach himself.
And that's what Team Liquid wants earlier on. The Lee Sin plus Sejuani is more powerful in the early stages here for the mid-jungle 2v2 that's so important Reaper is referring to. So it's going to be early priority for Jensen. Now, you do have to watch one thing, though, as Abbeddage try to stack up his passive. If you get the Irelia passive stacked up and you can start getting your Conqueror through, then later, once you've got access to level 6, it becomes a lot better for the Irelia Diana. But in the early stages, you have to respect the Lee Sin, you have to respect the Sejuani coming through. Santorin has been one of those junglers to throw in some wrinkles in his jungle pathing, skip some of these camps and get out to early ganks.
Yeah, we love to see how Santorin plays around the rest of the team and plays to enable them, not just to make sure he has the best performance himself. We know that this man is a big team player in terms of making sure everybody else is set up for success. Down here in the bottom lane, we're kind of seeing what Vayne can struggle with the long-range poke, with being sort of zoned away from things a little bit here. Obviously, the farm's still staying nice and close, but I am curious how she'll be able to deal with this Ziggs as the game moves forward. Back in mid lane, Jensen maintains control over things, but it is Abbeddage who has an advantage in terms of the farm. Jumps in there for the ranged minion. Jensen doesn't hit Sonic Wave, very thankfully for the 100 Thieves mid laner.
Yeah, gonna get chunked out a little bit. Decent amount of sustain left as they both hold on to their potions. Abbeddage gonna have a hard time, as we said, though, in the early stages. Jensen should have priority over the minion wave, should be able to push in first. And you also saw that it's critical when you have control of a wave like this. Why people talk so much about the early push is getting the openings to then run through river and look for vision. Santorin's gone over a ward, but they didn't see CoreJJ, so it's actually 3 versus 1.
And they're already done with it. That was too easy for Team Liquid.
Santorin walks over that ward, so they knows he's here, but then Abbeddage also gets hit with that Q. Once the Lee Sin Q lands, he knows that he's dead, so he holds onto his flash, doesn't try and outplay it. If he had been able to dodge that Q from Jensen, then maybe they try and go for an outplay, and Closer tries to collapse, but this is just hammering home that early advantage. When you have a matchup like this for Team Liquid that they draft and we're like, okay, Lee Sin Sejuani should have the early priority for their important mid-jungle duo. They push it to the limits, Flowers. They call CoreJJ up to that play. They don't leave it just up to Santorin and Jensen. They make sure they throw everything they have at it to really get that advantage, and it pays off. Jensen, first blood now on the champion.
Nicely done. Abbeddage also has to commit his teleport here earlier, as 100 Thieves are going in the 2v2 bottom lane. Doesn't look like it'll turn into a whole lot more. Tactical now hitting level 3. FBI was the only one of the 4 at level 3 there. So let's take a look at our ProView replay here. This is Abbedage's point of view.
Yeah, so right now he's walking back, strafing back and forth, looking for the Q. Where's it gonna be? Can't get the cannon. Then he goes back in on the minion, so that one hits, and he's toast. Yeah, he knows no way he's getting out of that one. They actually had Diana get vision of CoreJJ as well, too, so he knows the entire crew is there, and he is toast.
Very nice stuff from Team Liquid down here in the bottom part of the map. Tactical has run out of mana. This is a conversation that we have a lot around the idea of mages in the bottom lane. It's not about ever trying to hit their health bars. It's about trying to deal with their mana bars, make it so they're useless, make it so they run out of that resource that they so heavily depend on. So Tactical being forced back to the base. He'll come back with 2 amplifying tomes and a couple consumables, but honestly not a huge purchase here for him. But he gets back to lane, and now he can use a bouncing bomb. 2 bombs fully clears out the caster.
Feels quite good now. Plus, he's got Santorin coming down, so CoreJJ goes for the trade.
Nicely done there. Leona normally feels pretty comfortable with her Eclipse on, with her Aftershock procced, but that middle zone of the Haymaker, remember, full true damage. Nothing to say or do about it, as Santorin will go for a very early Drake here for the side of Team Liquid. Abbeddage trying to deal with Jensen in the mid lane, but Jensen getting a lot of damage out onto him. With Closer right behind, Jensen cannot continue to trade any further, even though he does hit level 6 first. And with all this attention over in the mid lane, with the enemy jungler having to come cover for Abbeddage, that just means there is no chance for 100 Thieves to intervene in the Drake pit, and Team Liquid pick that up.
And Santorin, thus far, has been the consummate, perfect Sejuani player. You do not play for yourself. You're not hard farming camps. You go to your strong solo lane for the synergy there on the wave that's built up. He succeeds in the dive. Then he transitions towards bottom lane to help them push out, gives CoreJJ the extra added threat of a jungler passing by to go for that trade. They chunk out bottom, immediately pick up the objective. This man does not miss a beat. Meanwhile, the Diana here just kind of limping around through camps, trying to farm up to that level 6, where you get access to ultimate, and you can try and pull off something in duels, but so much achieved early here by Santorin working around his lane matchups really effectively, and has earned not only the 850, now 750 FTX gold advantage for Team Liquid, but also the objective advantage.
And you can see CoreJJ just making sure that there's nothing bad going to happen to Jensen up here. Pops a couple of those minions with his Relic Shield to guarantee that he's still moving towards that warding item. And now he continues heading up towards the opposite side of the map from his lane. Again, looking for vision and looking for map control.
Now, as we finally have some level 6s here for the mid laners, quick story time. Well, never mind. We're going to have a dodge on the Q.
Nicely done there. Jensen making sure he doesn't get stunned.
Perfectly leads into the story, though, because I was having a chat with the Team Liquid Academy solo laners, Harry and Dokla, last night on this specific topic of Irelia. How I've been seeing it so much in other leagues be super highly prioritized and not as much in LCS. And they both agree they had really high priority on Irelia and think that has very high potential now. And one of the things was how to hit your Q better now that they changed and increased a little slight delay on the activation of the swords there. And they were both big fans of, using your Q to place your E. So it's a little bit faster. So your E stun is what I'm talking about for the sword placement, by the way, not Q. So you use your Q, then into E for the sword placement, and place it by yourself, and then second placement by your opponent to make it a little bit easier after the changes to try and hit those things. And we saw a little dodge there from Jensen. He was able to avoid it. If you land these critical E stuns from Irelia, those are where the roams from your Diana Leona actually find purchase.
Okay, CoreJJ ends up face-checking into Closer and Huhi together. Uses the Facebreaker to pull Huhi back, but a nice 3-man ulti coming out from Closer, and Team Liquid is not where they want to be. A lot of damage coming down, and 100 Thieves have taken out 2. Santorin wants to survive, and he flashes over the wall to do it. But 100 Thieves punch back with a nice punish.
This is exactly what they needed. Life now. Breathe into the 100 Thieves. The patience of Huhi and Closer. The Dyna had been limping around the jungle flowers, farming up camps to get to level 6. It's not without a goal, though. Your level 6 ultimate, huge there from Closer. Sucks all 3 members from Team Liquid in. They get 2 of the kills. They get their reset off afterwards, and this is the punishment on CoreJJ. You see him waiting for Santorin and Jensen to get a bit closer, but they're just a little bit too far away still. So when they go for Huhi, flashes out, and Closer with a massive re-engage. Sets up for Abbeddage, Irelia ultimate over the top. Ssumday even collapsing first and is able to find the second one.
And even though Team Liquid had the Gangplank ulti there, even though Alphari contributed however much he could, it's not like it was enough to get any kills out of it. So great job there from 100 Thieves. Santorin, however, will get the Rift Herald just now, as 100 Thieves is looking to make a move here in the bottom lane. The wave is already gone, though, so this might not work how they wanted it to. FBI tanking up the turret for now. Jensen nearly killed off, stays alive an extra moment, but there is no return kill. 100 Thieves get it done.
Yeah, they don't get the gold onto FBI because he starts out the dive with the Condemn on the wall. That's an opportunity that you kind of have to take right there. It's perfect positioning for the Condemn into the wall, so he just takes upon himself to start it up. That means with tower aggro, he has to drop it and can't stick around for the last hit, but guess what? Just goes over to the Diana there instead and funds this proto belt already achieved by Closer. Now let's see what he can do with it, because had to use his flash in the previous one to get to this position at the top of the FTX gold charts, but now he's got the proto belt to make up for the lack of flash.
This is a very big pop-off potential game for Closer. We have seen what this man can do from the jungle, playing a carry style, being the star of the show, and just taking over mechanically when given the opportunity to. And this is the kind of start that really puts you in that driver's seat to do whatever you want to do. That, of course, is pending Team Liquid not making the kind of incredible plays that we saw in game number 1. You've got to keep your eyes on these guys. The squad is grouping up in the bottom lane around this Drake pit. They already got first Drake of the game. They're looking for number 2 now that it is about to spawn. Tactical and CoreJJ clearing out some of the vision placed down by Huhi, but it looks like 100 Thieves are ready to contest this. Now, Ssumday is still in the top lane, and he has no teleport. Alphari's teleport also a few seconds away as he marches back up towards top, but Alphari will have a TP first. Team Liquid, if they're aware of this, could play around it and force a 4v5, but it's 100 Thieves who have found Santorin here at the very start. CoreJJ wants to go in, but a lot of damage coming out onto Team Liquid. Santorin getting himself away, but the Drake's about to find him. Closer grabbing the kill credit now, and 100 Thieves are just popping off. They're finding themselves a double kill for Abbeddage. It's a 3-for-1, and they are just the better team here in game number 2.
Can Tactical steal this? Look at him. He's got vision of it. They're waiting around. Closer smites. There we go. He's just waiting on the cooldown. They know he's got vision, so they don't rush it. I really like that. Not giving anything over to chance there for 100 Thieves. What a big force there. Huhi was not even level 6 here. Level 5 Leona has the confidence to start this out, though, because they have the support from the Irelia Diana combination coming down river. Look at this early move by them. And they completely catch them out. Proto Belt is used. Closer then jumps over onto Santorin. They get the early health lead. Then it's critical. The bomb comes in before the solo laners arrive, and Santorin gets kicked into the pit. So Santorin dies to Dragon Attack, which then gives Huhi level 6, levels up his level 6 on Leona, uses the ultimate, and they burst out the extra kill. Now guess what? Your mid-jungle duo that was so critical, that got set behind early Flowers, that was dove under turret Flowers, that Reaper talked about in his interview Flowers, has all the kills for 100 Thieves, 5 of them for those 2, and they are popping off.
And Blade of the Ruined King just now done for Abbeddage. This is where Irelia starts to get much more frightening, especially when you consider the standard build for Lee Sin. Gore Drinker into Sterix Gauge, that's no resistances and a pile of health. That's exactly what Blade of the Ruined King wants.
Some solo laners will. Never mind, here we go.
We got some action. Tactical's gonna be your target, and Closer's getting it done yet again. FBI picking up the kills, making a 2-for-1 special. 100 Thieves, man.
Yeah, they're remaining proactive this game. They have shrugged off any hesitation from game number 1. Reaper talks about them playing a little hesitant, a little scared. Not gonna happen twice in a row. 100 Thieves bouncing back in a big way in game number 2. This also allows FBI to get turret plate money off of bottom side, and while Alphari can just look on, he holds on to his cooldowns, he farms his turret plates on top side. It was a very worthwhile, proactive play from 100 Thieves, from Ssumday himself on this Ornn. Yes, he's sacrificing a lot on top side, but he's getting so much more for the team off of bottom. This Vayne now also gets some of the share of the spoils of war.
Jensen just getting himself over the wall here as 100 Thieves are again looking to collapse, and I want to see 100 Thieves keep this pace. You brought up that they're keeping the tempo going along very nicely. We have just now hit 14 minutes, so the turret plating is gone. They have a 2,000 gold lead at this point as the early game comes to a close, and now it's time to see the bigger fights. Now it's time to see those greater team rotations, and I want to see if 100 Thieves has what it takes to keep things moving forward. Tactical will grab the first turret of the game here in the bottom lane. The Ziggs very good at taking down those turrets, and I'm curious if they'll have the solution to deal with him and his wave clear as the game moves forward.
Really like this investment in bottom side. In addition to ganking, using the teleport, using the ultimate immediately to try and get FBI some turret play money while they still exist, to try and get some kills onto the Vayne as well. They also then use that win on the bottom side of the map to place all those wards super deeply inside the Team Liquid jungle. Santorin's able to clear out the control wards, but still the vision remains here from the side of 100 Thieves for that setup off the bottom half of this map and the return play.
All right, one ward left remaining down here in that bottom lane. It will see that Jensen is on the way as FBI continues farming up here on the Vayne. I like the Immortal Shield Bow. A couple different mythics you see sometimes on this champion, but especially in a game like this where you do have to deal with the powerful range and the AoE and the zone control with the Gangplank and the Ziggs. I really like this choice as 100 Thieves has brought Huhi, Closer, and FBI all to the mid lane to see if they can get this shoved out. And it looks like they're going to keep heading towards the top side here. This is pretty entrenched with Team Liquid vision. They'll find that control ward there in the pit. They can't clear out the Scuttle Crab, but they are continuing to move top into this Rift Herald pit.
And that's why I liked how the observers highlighted the ward that was in lane that saw the lane assignment early. They saw Jensen heading bottom side. They've got the teleport cooldown. They know Jensen is heading bottom side. No teleport available. This is a free Rift Herald. They cannot come up and answer this play. That in addition to the gold lead that they have and having the Ornn level 11 now with rank 2 ultimate, means they've got team fight prowess on their side. They're able to pick up this objective without losing any pace on the map. They can reset very quickly. The bottom wave is pushed up to turret, only drops off a couple minions before Abbeddage gets there to clean them up.
Tactical with a teleport back into mid lane to keep things nice and defended here. He is one level behind FBI, but FBI has been a part of 6 different kills now for the side of 100 Thieves. Huhi doing the same. We talk about this bot lane. We talk about how effective they are. They're having a good second game here thus far. You've also got the stopwatch picked up for Closer, but this is such an important grab. Allows him to go in and drop that aggro, be that initiator here for the team. As topside Alphari will grab the second turret of the game for Team Liquid, but that will be traded for this Drake that Closer's picking up now.
Exactly. It's 100 Thieves using their advantage across the map very methodically. We talked about, okay, there's Jensen bottom side, so just cross off the top objective, boom, then you can transition down to the dragon, cross that objective off without giving up anything that wouldn't have died anyways. That top turret was barely still standing, was eventually going to go down to Alphari anyways. So 100 Thieves, they have control of the map and they know it, and they're utilizing their recall timings here to make sure you don't give any trades to Team Liquid while you have the advantage. You know, the Team Liquid are coming to you with trade offer after trade offer, my friend.
Decline.
And you just decline them all.
Decline.
Exactly.
Decline.
No trade here. We're just going to take from you. Take from you. Take your trade offer somewhere else.
Well, mid lane, we're going to get a good Rift Herald charge, but not good enough to take down the turret itself. That thing was still almost at full HP because Team Liquid had been controlling the mid lane early on because Tactical was clearing out the waves here in the mid game. Now, 100 Thieves still down 1 turret compared to the side of TL. If they can even that up, it'll get rid of a lot of this gold discrepancy here between the squads. Divine Sunderer completed on Alphari's Gangplank along with an Executioner's Calling to deal with some of the healing from the Vayne and the Irelia. So we also haven't really seen Alphari be a part of a lot of fights yet outside of Gangplank ultis.
Yeah, I mean, his job was for Team Liquid with this setup to just push on top side, lend us your ultimates to try and turn around some of these skirmishes, land the slows so that our Sejuani, Lee Sin melee combo can get in there and your Ziggs can hit the ultimate and slowly work away at that top turret. So he did his job for what he's assigned in this team composition. It's just the 100 Thieves focus and outplay in the team fight on the bottom side with the repeated victories coming from Abbeddage and Closer's combination with the Aurelia Diana took hold in giving them the advantage of the rest of the map. And so nothing you can really change as a top laner there as far as your assignment.
Yeah, it's the group project in high school that you did your part, you turn it in, and you look at everybody else's part, and it's literally copy-pasted from Wikipedia. And you're like, well, we're in a little bit of trouble now, and that trouble keeps on heading towards them as 100 Thieves maintain control in the mid lane, keep those waves heading up, and Tactical will clear them away. Now, Huhi is placing vision down in the enemy jungle as 100 Thieves might be preparing for a play in the top side.
I gotta ask, Flowers, because I feel like you were one of the guys that did not really want to work on the content of the project, but
Oh,
you would
hell
be
no.
willing to present it.
Oh, that was actually my hustle. I would
Yeah.
tell everybody, like, all right, guys, oh, never mind. We don't have time to talk about that. We got a play breaking out. CoreJJ is going to get slammed into the Rift Herald pit. Just absolutely brutalized by 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I guess 100 Thieves didn't like the CoreJJ highlight reel from game number
No.
1. So they find him in the river, and guess what? They find Jensen as well.
Jensen's in some trouble, but he gets away. Santorin's ulti also deployed defensively as Abbeddage and FBI will work together to take down this tier 1 turret up here, and 100 Thieves keep them coming.
And again, I want to emphasize control from 100 Thieves. Teleport now used to flank in mid. They're going to punish tactical.
Okay, Ssumday is at about 1/4 HP. He does need to be careful to not overextend here, but he will not be chasing after the Team Liquid carry. Instead,
is the
he's
hunter.
got buddies for that. Tactical has no way out here. There's no teleport. There's no cheeky escape. There's only FBI.
Dragon Hunter as well as Yordle Hunter. New Yordle Hunter skin for FBI for Vayne coming through.
Yordles are secretly dragons. That's the new canon of the lore. That's not actually the lore. Please don't get mad at me for that. Anyway, 100 Thieves looking to take down maybe this last turret, but it is difficult when Tactical is around. Well, even if he's not around, you've still got Alphari with major wave clear potential. CoreJJ right next to him too. But man, this game is looking so much better for 100 Thieves than game number 1. Number 1 just kind of looked like they were out of their element, but here in game number 2, they have really pulled it together.
And especially considering this season, I would expect nothing less for this semifinal game. The winner goes to the finals for the LCS Championship, Flowers.
Yeah.
Both of these organizations have worked so hard for this opportunity. You know, Team Liquid, it was all sunshine and rainbows for them since 2018, since franchising. They won 4 back-to-back-to-back-to-back. 100 Thieves, though, they, in the inaugural split in spring, they made it to finals and they made it to Worlds that year. But ever since then, they've been trying to climb back. They've been trying to rebuild. And this year has been the culmination of that.
And remember, in those playoffs in spring, in 2018, in Miami, where 100 Thieves got to the final, they were in the kill cam for Team Liquid's 3-0 in that finals. That's all they were. They were the kill cam for Team Liquid starting their highlight reel.
Vengeance.
This is that vengeance. This is that comeback chance to smack them in the mouth for 3 years ago, and you know 100 Thieves want it. They're looking for maybe a dive here in the mid lane. Tactical's been doing a good job clearing out the waves so far. Throws out the Mega Inferno Bomb just to make sure, but is he sure enough? Surely he's thrown into the air. Surely he is down. CoreJJ will be a freebie here. Gets off the haymaker, but it won't matter. Santorin wants to slide back over the wall as Jensen and Alphari both teleport into the mix to try to help their jungler. Huhi and the rest of 100 Thieves, though, still standing strong. Walking away here. Closer was taking the Drake the entire time. They are now on sole point for the side of 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves have done some meditation after game number 1. They're fully focused, Flowers. It's that balance that you want to see. In the early stages, those 2 first fights, those skirmishes between Abbeddage, Closer, and Huhi, them finding those early kills, that is off of proactive gameplay. That is off of the killer instinct that you want to see. And then they teleport down Ssumday. They spend their resources to inherently inflate their advantage. Once they have it, though, they stop taking those risks. That's why the last 15 minutes of this game have been so much more controlled, so much slower pace, because 100 Thieves, they took from Team Liquid the advantage, and then they hung that over them. They used it to increase their lead, and now it is just an overwhelming advantage. You see everybody on their team off of 2+ item power spikes, even with the luxury items coming in. The Bramble Vest on Ssumday, the extra healing cutting from the Orb on Closer. They've got all the answers in preparation for this. FBI, you can't even kill this Vayne. This is a frontline super tanky Vayne with the shield bow plus the Wit's End, super popular combination 2-item power spike that has been used so much on Ashe. Is just beautiful for Vayne as well, with all this AoE guaranteed magic damage from Ziggs and then the Gangplank ultimate as well. He's confident to be in the middle of things. You see him tumbling in for these condemns against the wall, picking people off, going true Yordle Hunter style.
Back to the Yordle Hunter.
And there's just no big, easy answers for Team Liquid because of how controlled 100 Thieves have been in extending their lead. Let's see if they can mount anything around the big comeback play, of course, you're always looking at, can Team Liquid rally around a big Baron fight to counter, or rally around the Dragon Soul fight?
It's going to take a lot.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot. 100 Thieves are not even going to go around Baron. They're like, you know what? You're not even going to give that to you. We'll wait for the Dragon Soul to come up.
And we'll wait for the pause to go down. We'll let y'all know as soon as we can whatever's going on here on the Rift. But while things are paused now, man, I am liking what we're seeing from 100 Thieves. I think a lot of people going into this series today, myself included, had Liquid pretty heavily favored because of the way that they've been playing so far, because of how dominant they were against both TSM and Cloud9, and how close 100 Thieves series was with EG. And then after game number 1, it was like, oh man, Liquid's just going to smack these guys around too, aren't they? But no, here in game number 2, 2-12, nice proactive plays, keeping that going. I like what we're getting.
And we even saw, Team Liquid playing to some of their early conditions too. We talked about Alphari's assignment in this game and him performing to what Team Liquid needed with their comp. Santorin as well in the first maybe 4 or 5 minutes as far as that setup, going for the early dive. CoreJJ roaming up on the timing with it too, getting that kill onto Lee Sin, getting that first blood, then getting the first dragon for themselves, transitioning. It's not like this is, oh, what happened to Team Liquid? They've lost to Flowers. We're so scared. No, it is the good answer from 100 Thieves standing up. Somebody had to put the brakes onto this Team Liquid train through playoffs, or else it was just going to run all the way to first place and claim the championship.
Yeah.
And 100 Thieves are putting those brakes on right now.
Which makes it more fun for everybody that's not Team Liquid. So that just means better quality for us. I want to see someone challenge Team Liquid. I want to see someone else say, yes, we're also on that level. Because this is summer playoffs, right? The next step after this is called Worlds, my friend. And when we send teams to Worlds, yeah, it turns out that's the way it works. I don't want to be sending 3 teams to Worlds and only have faith in one of them. That's not a good look.
Yeah, you want to send your teams through the entire gulag, having them come out fighting for their lives, getting scrappy, make sure they've worked through some. You need to have an arduous journey on the way to success for it to really be a great story.
Oh, exactly. Oh, speaking of stories, because you asked earlier, and we got interrupted by a team fight. No, so the scam that I ran back in high school projects and group projects and stuff is I would tell people,
now
I'm like,
Flowers launches into his Ponzi scheme.
Hey guys, I know that nobody really wants to have to present these things. It's really tough and all. So if you guys do all the research and all of the other boring stuff and cite the sources, I'll bite the bullet. I'll do the presentation. And then I would always turn it into some completely over-the-top BS that would end up getting extra marks for enthusiasm. And that's how you do it. You never have to do any of the hard work. You just essentially get to go do some whatever parody garbage you want. It's great.
Yeah, honestly, it is a win-win situation because you are marketing a rare skill. I was one of those people that did not like to read our reports in the front of a class in high school or in college or anything like that. I did not like public speaking at all. So, exactly how I landed at this job today. So
yeah, I was going to say, well, this is kind of strange that now we're the guy who wanted to avoid it at all costs and the guy who did it as a meme. Now we're both commentators for this.
I was full math and sciences only, no English, no history. I was out of there. Full nerd for sure.
See, in the math class that I had, in the physics class that I had to take my freshman year at college, my presentation was on the physics of King Kong body slamming different large objects into different surfaces. I got a 95 on that, I'll have you know. I even had MS Paint graphics, King Kong body slamming stuff.
That actually sounds like some of the stuff that's gone on the League subreddit where they're talking about, well, Malphite is actually a giant mountain, it's this many tons, and this is how much it would take for Sett to body slam Malphite. This is just not possible, Captain Flowers. Doing the lore science analysis is actually some of the funniest stuff to me.
People always love talking about that stuff. You're like, which champion would be able to beat Goku in a fight if we take into consideration their real sizes and the fact that Malphite is a mountain and Aurelian's soul is space or something?
If you're picking Skarner in every one of these matchups, which I just assume they do.
Skarner's like the size of a truck in the lore or something, I'm pretty sure. He's really big. Like, Skarner's lore is when they come try to steal the Brackern crystals, he, like, wakes up and he's a monster from Silent Hill or something. He just starts tearing people apart. That's scary. He's big.
I would like a series of Skarner lore read by Captain Flowers.
I'm not
That
going to
would
lie,
be a
dude.
great-
Skarner's lore is like 3 paragraphs. It's not that long.
Okay, it'll be a short series.
I
then.
don't think we can make a long series out of it.
It's gonna be so short that we can make it right now during this pause, and we'll be done before we get back in there.
All right,
How
hold
about
on.
that?
We're just. I'm getting my phone out right now. We're gonna go to.
I'll be the producer on this one.
League
Okay.
lore,
Look up the script here real quick.
Skarner.
As everybody else can relax. I'm not quite sure. We haven't even been updated on what the pause is at the moment. So still waiting on the update to see what we have to look forward to here.
Okay, so while we're doing that, do we want the full biography or just the summary?
Pretty sure we're going to need the full one if it's only a paragraph long.
It's not 1 paragraph. It's a few paragraphs, but it's definitely not like the full-on, like, mega story.
I got an
of-
update. All right. Pause is just due to Huhi, something to do with Huhi's computer and his computer casing. So it should be quick.
Oh, okay. So we'll have a quick
Quick story
restart
time
then.
with
Okay.
Captain Flowers. Bedtime stories with Clayton.
All
Here
right,
we go.
bedtime story. Here we go. Long before the rise of Shurima's great empire, the remote northwestern valleys were home to an age-old race known as the Brackern. These noble creatures were quite unlike any other. While individually they may have seemed primitive and aggressive, their arachnoid bodies held a wondrous secret. They existed as custodians of a truly ancient Gestalt consciousness, perhaps one of the very oldest in all of Runeterra.
Ooh, I'm a Bracken fan already.
Yeah, each Brackern was host to a single magical crystal, which retained their memories, their hopes, and their dreams, everything that made them who they were. After the body's death, the core of the crystal was buried with great reverence in the deepest valleys. There, they waited for new, younger Brackern to inherit them and take up the mantle of all those who had come before.
Wait, are these the crystals, Seraphine Jax? Is that why you
This
hate
is
her
the
so
crystals that
much?
powers everything with the word Hextech in it.
Okay.
That's why it's so messed up.
I see where we're going with this. Okay.
It's a spiritual reincarnation, and all of Piltover uses it for batteries.
I see why you're so heavily invested in that
Yeah.
competition.
Anyway, let's
get
get into the game. We'll get back to dramatic readings of Skarner more later. Anyway, it's time to go back to League of Legends. We don't have any Skarner in this game, but we do have a 2,500 FTX gold advantage for 100 Thieves. We do have a 3-to-1 Drake count in favor of 100 Thieves. We do have a 12-to-2 kill count in favor of 100 Thieves. And there's a theme here, Kobe. It's all 100 Thieves.
And we do have a 3-item Vayne hard carry. FBI is about to pop off. These are those highlight games that actually they create, a custom game to make your TikTok pop-offs now, and you have some actors on the other side. All right, now, Vayne is going to tumble dodge the Sejuani ult, flash behind the Ziggs, miss that ult as well, condemn him into the wall, complete pop-off plays here.
But
And
hey,
the Thieves can set up the entire map.
The very first thing that I ever heard of the Chinese Lee Sin TikToks, those montages are like the most well-known ones. So keep your eyes on Jensen, all right? If we're talking about TikTok montage,
Spoiler.
Lee Sin has got to be the most iconic champ for that. So hopefully he can get a big kick or something, give us a closer game. Right now, Team Liquid, they've got about 1 minute and 45 seconds to think about how they're going to approach this Mountain Soul situation. Because Kobe, Leona, and Ornn with a Mountain Soul, that's a pretty big wall.
Okay, look at the timing. I like this timing. He knows that he can use his ultimate now. Tactical has a good 1.5 minutes before the Dragon Soul arrives, so uses the ultimate to check Baron. Now, because of the ultimate being used, though, they actually started out 400 Thieves, trying to bait them in. They might force it even a bit earlier. Ssumday flanking around.
100 Thieves demand an answer from Team Liquid. Huhi loses just under half of his health there to a nice barrel, but with Jensen being caught out, this could be very bad news for the side of Team Liquid. He gets away thanks to the mobility of Lee Sin, dashing to safety, as now 100 Thieves have been pulled away from that big objective.
Now, I want to point to one of the biggest hopes for Team Liquid in actually killing off that Vayne is going to be Alphari's Gangplank. This is a 1 point of strength that you have for Team Liquid. He is almost level 16 on the Gangplank. He just finishes Irelia's Grudge, plus he's got the early Serpent's Fang. So
strong.
He's going to be able to try and blast through the shields in addition to blasting through this backline. If Team Liquid can allow Alphari to set up some barrels through these brush and get the Dream barrel chain plus giant AoE combination with tactical Ziggs over the top, That is where their way back into this game actually comes from.
All
Yes,
right.
it is 12-2 for 100 Thieves, but if they can deny this soul, if they can win this team fight, Team Liquid can try and turn it around.
Let's see it, Liquid. What do you got? Here comes the Ornn horn already sounding off. Ssumday throws 2 up into the air, but a flash away. Dodges out from the Irelia ulti. There comes Ziggs ult, finds its way onto the Abbeddage and FBI. Both carries here. 100 Thieves now in retreat as Team Liquid looks for their opportunity to go even further. A lot of ultimates already expended from both sides.
Yeah, all of the 100 Thieves ones are completely down now, and so it's just Jensen and CoreJJ with 2 playmaking ultimates on the side of Team Liquid. And again, Alphari here, keep zoning with the barrels. These barrel last hitting minigame is going to be critical. FBI goes for that one. FBI gets 3 in a row.
Jensen's on the flank. He's looking for the opportunity for a big Dragon's Rage here. Santorin also ready to go. Him versus Closer on this smite is going to be huge. CoreJJ with a flash over the wall. Goes in for the big showstopper. He's stuck in the middle of 2. Fight keeps on going, and Team Liquid have not been able to find a single kill yet. Abbeddage going to take down CoreJJ. Slashing and dashing right back in. Santorin will be the next to fall. Alphari has to flash back over the wall, looking to stay alive. Double kill over to Closer. The full moon is rising, and 100 Thieves take down the Mountain Drake to claim the soul. Ssumday's about to give Alphari a big old burp and take him out of the picture too. He retreats just to make sure he doesn't give away an extra kill, and now Closer's ready to mop him up, and Abbeddage takes the money.
Critical time is actually bought there by Alphari, kiting up and far away from the Baron. Maybe that's going to be enough for a stop from Team Liquid. If it's not, then that means Baron instantly 400 Thieves. They'll start it up. Tactical has his ultimate. All hopes are on the Tactical blind ultimate. There's the Scryer's orb. Can he get it?
Oh, this would have to be a huge steal from the Ziggs ulti. Closer ready to go with a smite. Woo. Bomb comes in, they do it slow and steady, and they win the race. 100 Thieves, they've got Soul, they've got Baron, they got a 5K gold lead. This is looking like a done deal.
100 Thieves gonna finish this one shortly. Look at this fight. So Abbeddage starts off by forcing CoreJJ's hand. He goes in on him 50%. CoreJJ then has to flash ult to start this fight out, but they have no pressure on any of the 100 Thieves carries. You see, big move from Abbeddage. This Irelia gets so insanely tanky.
Yeah.
They can't take him down. Extra health scaling as well as the W damage reduction keeps him up, and there's no pressure on the 100 Thieves carry, so FBI shreds from safety. They take down the Team Liquid front line, as you said. Ssumday playing accordingly, backing off, not giving the extra kill.
Oh, but we're already back into a bit of a scrap as Jensen has to use his stopwatch to survive there. Big tool out of his arsenal now as 100 Thieves continue to pressure. They only have the tier 1 turrets down, so there is a lot of standing gold on this map for them to pick up. Abbeddage will be set here in the split push situation topside to take down that first tier 2. Everybody else working together to take down the tier 2 in mid. Tactical is able to provide enough wave clear to get them at least one more wave, but now Abbeddage is continuing the threat, continuing the push here in the top lane.
All right, with Baron sieging on all sides here. Minute and 40 seconds left on this Baron. That's plenty of time for the 4-1 for 100 Thieves to keep up pressure. They're starving out all the extra vision from Team Liquid, trapped inside their base. No flash this time on CoreJJ. He can try and Hex Flash, but the big surprise play just isn't going to be there. It's not an option. There's no flash for him, no flash for Jensen, no flash for Santorin, so Team Liquid, they're kind of sitting ducks here.
CoreJJ taking some damage here as he tries to maintain a decent position. Ssumday charges forward, but doesn't really find any CC here just yet. 100 Thieves know they have to pressure multiple lanes at once. They don't just want to have Tactical working to clear everything out. Gangplank ulti's already been summoned up. Sejuani ulti too. Team Liquid throwing the kitchen sink at him, just trying to hold this inhibitor turret line. Abbeddage gets jumped on by Jensen, but he's clearly unafraid. So strong on this Irelia, level 17 to Jensen's 15. 100 Thieves rotating over as a full 5-man unit. They know that without the Gangplank and Sejuani ultis, Team Liquid is missing a significant amount of power and will have a much more difficult time defending this. Inhibitor number 1 falls in the top lane as Ssumday takes a bit of damage back here in mid. Not enough to really worry about it. The Ornn is a big old meatball, so he'll just walk away with half HP still left, and 100 Thieves will regroup.
Yeah, the mission is complete. They got inside the base. The Thieves are in. They cracked the top side there, took the inhibitor, leave behind a possible teleport ward as well, as you see very deep inside the base. for later. So there's just so much of a map advantage from 100 Thieves. Now it's easy for them to transition back to the other side, keep up your pressure, and since they're the ones with such hard forcing champions like the Ornn Leona that they've drafted once again, you can just brute force this. With your super minions going top side, you just group right back up. Vayne stays behind the rest of the front line here, and you can easily force on these towers. Pick up bottom side secondary first. There's a lot of gold in that one to just continue to increase your lead. And with these extra Mountain Soul shields, you just cannot burst any members of 100 Thieves. The consistent damage is non-existent inside Team Liquid's comp. So unless Alphari pulls off some crazy heroics on the Gangplank and is able to land multiple barrel explosions onto primary targets, this is going to be the 100 Thieves surrounding this base and forcing their way inside. Tier 2 turret doesn't stand a chance. They collect that gold and then try and go get mid-wave as well.
Yeah, the Gangplank being able to hard carry, it doesn't sound just like a water into wine type of miracle. This sounds like water into wine. Then you need to walk on the surface of the wine just to put them back to back and have a shot at bringing this one back in.
You turn that wine into some radioactive superhuman juice and everybody drinks it and you all become Superman at that point.
Everybody needs that Superman juice and then they're ready to go. But hey, Closer just picked up Morello Nomicon, so enhanced Grievous Wounds here to make sure that the healing on Team Liquid is at a minimum. We've got 35 seconds until Elder Dragon. This kind of feels like do or die for TL. If you let your opponents have Elder Drake when they've already got this lead, they're just going to end.
I tell you what, if you kill that dragon blood could be mixed with the wine and turn into some sort of super.
You are going
juice,
deep
okay?
into the.
You get the execution.
Are you mixing Skyrim potions? Okay, we just need some dragon's blood, a river rock, half of a blast cone, and 3 wards.
The most important ingredient is the Elder Dragon. That's your only hope. Every team that's behind at this point in the game, your hope is getting a miracle steal on the dragon and using Elder Dragon buff to actually turn the game around.
Right.
That is your only hope. Let's see if they can actually play it out. Team Liquid, again, these super minions are going to mean that 100 Thieves, all they have to do is delay. Those will take out this turret by themselves if given enough time.
Ssumday's starting it off. A nice Sejuani ulti stops the second part of the Ornn ulti. Closer's already got the kill on Tactical though, and this is just a disaster for Team Liquid. 100 Thieves is running them back into their own jungle. Santorin barely escaping. Alphari and Jensen still with enough HP to maybe survive. Alphari slows them down with a barrel. That's the biggest barrel you got right there, just trying to stop them from all dying. Abbeddage uses the teleport to get into the enemy base. He'll beat Jensen back here. He'll clear out all the minions, 45 dashes in 3 seconds, right back onto the other remaining Nexus turret. 100 Thieves are getting it done. They want to pad the stats and make this as painful as possible. Alphari's going to drop there for the second time. FBI is unstoppable, and 100 Thieves bounce back in game number 2. The score's going to be a 19-3, and they'll tie this series up.
I heard a cheer go out from the Team Liquid stage there as they get FBI. Jensen gets off the in second to the fountain, so you get at least the small gold star at the end of the game. Pull off the in second to the fountain. Woo! Shut
That'll
down
do it.
just in time. But what a good response from 100 Thieves here. They're making this one a true series. They will not be run over in playoffs. They will not let this reign of terror from Team Liquid continue any longer. Really smart things come out from them. We finally get some really good Irelia usage here from the mid lane. Been waiting for that as far as a solo lane pick. They pull out the Vayne on top of it. Being able to go with the defensive shield bow plus Wits End build is so good versus Ziggs. You get right in there, destroy the Sejuani as well. I just thought there were a lot of things that 100 Thieves put thought into before this game, as well as executing inside.
Well, I'm super excited to see where we go in game number 3 now that both teams have showcased this level of strength and dominance against one another in separate situations.
And to read part 2 of the Skarner story.
Oh yeah, the next pause we get, you better believe we'll come to the exciting conclusion of that. But now with our series tied up, we're stepping away. And when we return, we're joining up with